Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Quackshot, starring Donald Duck, again. In the first video of our attempt to do this right the second time around, we started our adventure in Duckburg, but we needed a certain platform, or plunger, that works like a platform, to get over a wall. We couldn't find it in Duckburg, so we had to go to Mexico to find it. We couldn't do much in Mexico because we didn't have a key to enter the pyramid with. So we went back to Duckburg, we got the hero key, we went back to the pyramid and explored the place and got the plunger, as well as a note that acts as a clue to something else in the game. Now we're flying from Mexico, and we're going to land in Duckburg as soon as I press the C button. And now that we have the red plunger, we can just stand on these things as soon as I shoot them at the wall. And you want to be very careful now that you're in the city area, because it is possible to get hit by the boom projectiles from the foghorns, as well as other things. And it's also possible to walk off the edge and fall into a hole that you shouldn't fall into. These turtle enemies, as soon as you are on the same level as them, they will try to hide in their shells. I try to shoot them before they do that because the first one of that series has a chicken that gives me full health. Ow. And there's a Mickey blimp up there. And want to be very careful so that way I don't run into any enemies on the way there. There's this guy here too. I'll go ahead and take his ice cream cone because I can. And we need to just watch out for the boom projectiles on the way down the ladder. And then we slide down here and we can get this. Now it's time to grab these little zip lines and move across and jump from one of these things to another. Thankfully, this part is pretty easy as long as you watch what you're doing. Try not to get zapped and just try to land on the zip lines. And if you know what you're doing, sometimes you can grab the thing on the top and other times you can grab the thing on the bottom. Whew. And in case you do get zapped, you do get the bounce upwards, which thankfully the game is very gracious in saving you in that way. Donald, just the fellow I wanted to see. Would you please try out my newest invention? It's bubblegum ammo. When you use it in your shooter, it makes exploding bubbles. I'll give you more whenever you run out. Thank you, Gyro. Donald takes the bubblegum ammo. So we now have bubblegum ammo. You have 50 shots max. If you ever go back here to Duckburg and you definitely need more ammo, you can always go here to where Gyro Gearloose is to get more. Thankfully, you'll have plenty of opportunities throughout the game to get bubblegum ammo, so you won't really have to use this all that much. Still, at least the game was nice in that regard to do that for us. And I wish I had not taken the lower road, but hey, at least on the way back we don't have to worry about running into anything, which is great. I would have gotten more points if I took the higher road and not jumped to the lower one there, but as soon as we make it to the other end, we get launched back here. Now we need to make our way back without any trouble befalling us, because if we manage to fall right into the pits, we're going to have a bad time. We will instantly lose a life. There is no way to save ourselves if that happens. And yeah, there is a boom projectile right there, and I can't believe that hit me. Alright, we did it right this time. You actually want to make sure that the guy does not, that these guys do not hide in their shells the moment that you're on their level, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. And you want to make sure you jump off the very edges here so that way you don't accidentally walk off the edge and immediately fall into a pit, because it does not take long for you to accidentally walk off the edge, get knocked into the air slightly, and then have no control over Donald, and you just fall into the pit and lose a life. Yeah, thanks a lot on that front, game. And now, we're pretty much done in Duckburg for the time being. I don't think we ever really come back here again. So, we're going to call the airplane. And there's nothing to do in Mexico. There's nothing to do in Duckburg. So we're going to go to Transylvania. This is the only place where we have anything left to do, so that's where we're going to go. I could press C again and just skip the part where you see the airplane just move across the screen, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Aside from Pete's Goons, you also have the bats. You also have these pools of water that you don't want to fall into, because that's instant death as well. Want to make sure that you time your jump so that way you land on the platforms, because you do not want to fall in this water at all. I'm surprised he did not shoot me. Some of these guys shoot these green slimes. And thankfully, while the slimes don't kill you, they still do 1 unit of damage. Also, be careful on these platforms. You do not want the bats running into you at all. Thankfully, as long as you stay on the platforms, and in some cases, like this one right here, you just let them fly away from you. You don't have to worry about them hitting you at all. Wow, this is the famous Dracula's castle. Once you make it to Dracula's castle, you'll plant your flag here, which is good, because if you came here any earlier, you probably won't be able to do much of anything. And from here, we can enter the castle. And if we do this, blow up the wall with the bubblegum ammo. But why in the world did you come to such a scary place? I'm looking for King Garuzia's treasure. King Garuzia's treasure. Now I remember. Count Dracula has a treasure map in this castle. But I don't think Dracula will give up the treasure map too easily. If you don't have the bubblegum ammo, you cannot go any further. So, we need to pause the game, press C or start once we have the bubblegum ammo highlighted. And from here, we can go in this direction. I believe the mirrors are supposed to teleport you places, but you're really not supposed to use any of them. Really, game? You're going to place that right there. These barrels can be blown up with the bubblegum ammo. If you don't stop, please disappear, you terrible ghost enemy. By blowing up these barrels, you can uncover some slime enemies that will always move left when you uncover them. And you can find some money for points as well as a 1-up. One of the enemies in Transylvania before we made it to the castle had a 1-up too, and it's a good thing we got it. We're going to get rid of these skeletons with the plunger, and then slide away quickly by holding down and pressing C repeatedly. We're going to blow all these blocks up, these lighter colored blocks with the bubblegum ammo. And then we're going to get back around here with the bubblegum ammo. As you can see, you get 5 shots per pickup. And if you know what you're doing, you can easily refill on the bubblegum ammo. Now I'm going to slide away from the skeleton and the ghost. And we need to drop down here next. We actually have to drop down that little pit there. And you have plenty of options for how you want to get around here. I want to duck and slide. I'm going to make sure that goes in that direction. I was trying to avoid hitting those spikes, but unfortunately I did it anyway. On this lower part, you want to use the slide, hold down and press C repeatedly to get past these crushers. Thankfully, these aren't instant death either, but still want to avoid them. And from here, I want to carefully make my way Really? Really? I carefully want to make my way over to the right by dropping down and hopefully not hitting any of those spikes. Thankfully, I didn't. And now... and if I can do this without getting hit by the... perfect. Now you want to take the top path, because the top path is going to lead to cool stuff. If you need health, this is where you go, because you're going to need it. You're going to need the points, you're going to need the popcorn ammo, and you're going to need the health. And from here, we can go all the way here, and we can just climb our way up with the red plungers. Once you jump to the top, you're out. Now we need to keep sliding, and every once in a while this ghost will have a little smirk and he will look to the left. While he is looking to the left like that, you want to duck down. When he turns back around and faces right again, get your bubble gum, blow up the blocks, stand on this one. If the ghost sees you, he splits into several smaller ghosts. But thankfully, he did that while we were up here, so we didn't have to see any of the ghosts. Use a red plunger to climb your way up here. Walk to the door to open it. And now you're going to have to deal with the... or, no, actually. No, that's the part after this. For this part... you're going to need to avoid the ghosts and the bats and the skeletons again. Thankfully, hitting enemies with the plunger to stun them, it still gives you points. And here, you want to make all the jumps that you can. Make big jumps now. So that way you don't get crushed by this wall. If this wall crushes you, you're going all the way back to the beginning of this section. And now... more bubblegum ammo. We're back to 50. 50 is the most you can have. You cannot stockpile past 50. Don't even try. And if I could grab that, that'd be great. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be too close to the barrels. And hey, full health, even though I didn't need it. Did better this time. Did better there, too. In case you needed health, there is chicken in that one barrel all the way to the right. And now we got to deal with the ghost again. Okay. That's what happens if you let the big butler ghost with the little ponytail see you. You have to deal with the ghost for a little while and you have to escape them. Now here. Wait for the ghost to turn back to the right. Okay, wrong part. It's this part. Wait for him again. Go, go, go. Use a red plunger to get up here. This part can be a little hard to notice unless you're really looking around and exploring this part. And then walk into the door to open it, and then go in and you'll fight the boss. By the way, if you kept going to the right in the ghost parts, you'd eventually loop back to the beginning and you'd have to explore the whole area all over again just to go to where you needed to go. Thankfully, I knew where I needed to go. And now, our first boss battle against Count Duckula. Or Count Dracula. They actually call him Count Dracula in this game. He will fly around. When he opens his cape, that's when you need to hit him with the plunger. Of course, you also need to avoid the bats, too. If you are very good on the timing... Really? I had to go all the way to the other side of the room? Okay. Yeah, you actually have to go all the way from one side of the room to the other just to avoid getting picked off by the bats. And after 5 hits, Dracula goes down, and Donald takes the real treasure map. So what Duckula does, he flies back and forth from one side of the room to the other. When he reaches one side of the room, he will open up his cape and shoot 4 bats at you. While he has his cape open, you can hit him with the weapon of your choice. I used the plunger, but you could easily use the bubblegum or popcorn ammo if you wanted. And you basically had to avoid the bats while also getting a clean shot on Duckula. After he flies back and forth a few times, he does raise his elevation up a bit. He does fly around at a higher altitude, and you have to bounce off a red plunger that you shoot at the wall, jump off of that, and then hit him while the cape is open, so that way you can hit him. And after 5 hits, he goes down. And now, we're out of here. We have now officially left the castle. And now that we have the airplane, not the airplane, but the treasure map, the real treasure map, I should say, we now have 4 more places that we can go. There's Egypt, there's Maharaja, which is India, there's the South Pole, and we have the Viking ship. Now, if I re-land in Transylvania, it will still take me... Okay, I'm not at the flag. It will take me back to where I was instead of the beginning of the level. It'll take me back to where I planted the flag. But as long as I can avoid the bats, I will still have, or I will now have, 5 units of health, which is always good. And now we are done with Duckburg and Transylvania. There's really not much else we can do in any of the places that we've been to, so we're going to have to go to the other 4 places and take care of stuff there. But where are we going to go from here? We're going to find that out. We're going to figure that out in the next video. So join me next time where we explore the rest of the world of this game. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!